Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. In this video, we are going to continue with building our dashboard, and I'm going to cover an important report which almost gives you all the financial information that you need to know about your business. Financial data that you are dealing with Amazon in terms of what Amazon paid you, what charged you, in terms of reimbursement, what Amazon has paid you back. So as you see here, we can see the sales, refunds, adjustments based on the SKUs. When I'm talking about adjustments, I'm talking about the reimbursements regarding these refunds. Some of the refunds that you are getting from Amazon, they are being damaged by Amazon, by customers, and Amazon is supposed to pay you back, right? We will go over that. As you see here, if you choose any SKUs here, you can see the information about how much you sold of that product, what was your selling fee percentage, what was your FBA fee percentage. These are the numbers. It's good to know. Then you see all the orders here. You can see the refunds, if you have got adjustment for that, if Amazon has paid you back for that or not. Then you have information about in detail what you has been charged for anything, like what's your product sales, what's the units, FBA fees, and other information, how much adjustment you got from the refunds. Then here you can choose your order ID. If you want to investigate more about any order, you can search here and look at that. If you see there has been any refund, any adjustments or stuff like that. You see the sales and orders by city. As you see, this information is from my Canadian account. So you see the sales based on a city, and here you see the sales based on the province. Down here, I have the payments. If I have unselect this, so you can see your payments from Amazon, when they paid you, how much they paid you, and also your advertising charges based on the dates that Amazon charged your account. So let's get to work. Before starting to work on this report, I just wanted to mention a side note, and that is when I'm talking about building this dashboard, it doesn't necessarily mean you have to go and build your own dashboard. Yes, when you are a small seller, 100% it makes sense to invest and build your own dashboard because you have time. But when you scale up, you don't have that time, and it makes sense for you to hire someone else to do this for you. But the point here is that you have to know your business. You have to know what Amazon is providing you, what Amazon is charging you, what is the KPI, what these reports, where these reports coming from. Because if you want to hire someone, the ones that are good, they just know how to create dashboard, right? They might not be familiar with Amazon business. So you need to tell them and ask them what to do. In order for them to be able to create these reports, they need the information that you have to give them. You should know where the reports are. You should know what Amazon gives you in order to be able to ask someone to create the reports that you need. So this is the point of going over these reports, right? When I started working on this, I'll be honest with you, there were some information that I even didn't know, or I didn't have any idea what they are. I had to go investigate more and learn more, search, figure out what that is. That is the point of making this video and going over this. Like you, I'm learning more from investigating here in these reports and the data that I'm getting from Amazon. Okay, let's get to work. The report that we need is a transaction report. The way you can download it, you go to your Seller Central. I'm in my Canadian Seller Central. Tap on report, go to the payment. When you go to the payment page, go to date range reports tab. From here, you can see this generate report, tap there. We don't need the summary report. We are looking for a transaction report. Here, you can choose the date range that you are looking for, right? This is based on month. And if you want to custom, you can choose this generate report. After generating a report, it's going to take probably a few minutes based on how long the period you chose. And just download this report. I went over this in my previous video. I'm not going to cover this again, but it is pretty simple. You bring that report and create a Google Sheet in Google Drive. As you see here, I have this orders here. I created that, and here is the report. This is the report you are getting. There are so many information here that Amazon is giving you. I'm going to cover all of them, go over what these reports are. So let's go to this flowchart that I made. If you see here, there is a type here, right? So I'm going to go over each of these types. The first type that you would see there is order. If you filter by orders type, you will have two different data here. One is your Amazon FBA orders, and the second one is non-Amazon orders. As an example, I have my product on Etsy, right? And any order that I'm getting from Etsy, I'm using Amazon fulfillment to ship the order. In terms of Amazon FBA orders, you will see all these information there, right? Their address, what's the product sales, the shipping costs that they did, selling fees, Amazon fees, the tax, and all this information. Just a side note here, in Canada, what is happening is that Amazon charging the customers for sales tax, but they are giving you that sales tax. So that is your responsibility to report the sales tax and give it back to the government, which in US it's not like that, and it's different. For your non-Amazon orders, it is just shipping plus tax, right? The next type is refunds. So you will see all your customer refunds and how much Amazon refund them back, meaning how much Amazon charge you for the refund. The adjustments, there are three types of adjustments here. There might be more, but so far from what I realize, the type of adjustment these are these three. Let me know if there's anything that I'm missing here. One of them is the FBA inventory reimbursement to customer returns. So imagine a customer returned a product, but for any reason this product got damaged by customer or by a shipping process, and that's not your fault. Amazon is supposed to pay you back. Actually, with this report and mixing it with another report from inventory, which is called inventory adjustments, you can figure out how much of this refunds Amazon is supposed to return you, supposed to pay you back, that they haven't, right? So there are two reports that you can mix them and figure this out. You have this adjustment that Amazon paid you back for warehouse damages and also inbound loss. So both of these, like this one, there are other reports that when you mix that report with this report, you can figure out where Amazon owes you and where Amazon hasn't paid you back for what it is supposed to be paid. The next type is service fee. The service fee is the advertising fee that you are supposed to pay, right? Next type is FBA inventory fee. From this type, you can find disposal fee. If you have a product that is supposed to be disposed, there will be a charge. This is the charge that you will see under this disposal fee. What is your FBA storage fee? You can see here under this section. And the last one is Amazon partner carrier shipment fee. Let's say you have your inventory in your own storage and you schedule a pickup by UPS from your storage to Amazon. There's a fee here, right? Amazon is charging you and paying UPS later, and this is the number associated with that. The next type is transfer. Transfer is any amount that Amazon paid you. All your payments are under this type, so you can see your payment here. Next type is debit. I'm not 100% sure about that, but seems like sometimes Amazon overcharges you but holds more money back from what they are supposed to. So this is just the negative charge that in order to do that adjustments and give you that money back. The last one, which is null. So if you go to type, clear all this checkbox and use this blank, right? everything that you see here, these are the transactions regarding the promotions that were used on your listing. Now that we know what is going on this report, this graph helps us to build the dashboard that we need. Let's go back to Google Data Studio. I have this one open here to use as a reference and build our new dashboard based on this. If you haven't watched my first video on how I built this dashboard, go ahead, watch that video and make sure you understand how to build this, because I covered some fundamental things there. It's better to start with that video if you are watching this channel for the first time. So let's start. I'm gonna put a line here just to separate this one from the next one. Keep in mind, you can create another page. For the sake of this video, I'm gonna have everything here, but you can be more specific and create different reports in different pages. They can be more specific and go into details about that subject. Here, for the sake of this video, I'm just gonna go and make everything in one page. The first thing that we see here is seeing the orders, refunds, and adjustments based on SKU. First of all, we need to add our data source. You go to resources, add data sources, add a data source, go to Google Sheets, right? And then you need to find that report that has your orders and you downloaded and made a Google Sheet. The one that I built is this one. So tap there and there is just one worksheet. Choose that one. Add to report. Before going to the next step, we need to define our parameters here. So you go to edit, and here you need to create and define what type each dimension or each header is, right? So we have the date, it is date and time. Description is text. FBA fees, it is a fee, it is not a number, so we will go and choose the currency, which is CAD here. Fulfillment, it is a text. Gift wrap, credit is currency. I'm gonna go ahead and change all of this. Marketplace is text. Order city, this is important here. The order city is geo, right? It's a city. We wanna use this in a map, so it is important to change this, otherwise you won't be able to use it in the map. It is city, you have to choose the city. Order ID is a text. Order postal code, same as city, we have to define this as a postal code here. So now that we have this, tap on done and close this, right? The first graph that we want to make here, this is a pivot table. If you go to the charts, add charts, there is a pivot table here, this one. So you choose that and just drag it here. What we are looking for, in the column we're going to see the SKUs, right? So the date range dimension should be date, because we want to, first of all, before even choosing that, you have to make sure you are choosing the right data source. We are looking at orders, so this is right. Then here we have to choose data, because we want this information to change based on the date range that we are choosing. So this is important to have this one here. As we said, As a row, we want to see the SKUs. So choose a SKU here. Now we have all the SKUs. Then for the column, we want to see the type. There is one issue here. As you see, we have null, and the reason is that we have this SKU just for order, refunds, and adjustments. All the different types that we have there, as you see, we have these numbers coming from all different types. Let me go back to this report. For example, here, this service fee that you see, it doesn't have a SKU. So wherever I have a SKU, I'm just looking at the order type, refund, and adjustment. The other ones, they don't have SKUs, and for me, even it doesn't matter. Here, you have to create a filter. Go all the way, when you choose this pivot table, go all the way to add a filter. I would call this orders. I will call this actually order, refund, and adjustment. Here it says include anything that the type is condition equals to. I'm saying anything that the type is order, right? And you have to make sure how this order has been spelled in terms of if it's capital, it should be capital, or if it's not, it shouldn't. So I want to look at this, or anything that has a type of refund, okay, or anything that has a type of adjustment. Just want to make sure I'm spelling this adjustment correctly here. So what you can do, you can choose this, and if you are not sure, just copy this, put it here. So what I'm doing here is that I'm saying in this graph that I'm creating, just show me any type which is either adjustment, order, or refund. It is like if I'm working in Google Sheets, it's like filtering this and just choosing adjustment, orders, and refund. So now we go back there. I call this order, refund, adjustment just to make it clear in the future that what I'm looking at here. So now you see here that I'm not seeing other information because I filtered it. But there is still a null here. Let's go back to report and see why we are getting this null. This is important here because it is causing us to go to report and see what's happening. If I go to reports, right now, as you see, I have filtered adjustment, orders, and refunds. Let's see where I'm getting this null here. I'm gonna clear everything and just select a blank. As you see here, it is just a transaction, FBA transportation fee, sorry. As I mentioned, it is for non-Amazon orders. So I want to remove this, right? We need another filter. We can name this no SKU. There are so many ways to create this filter. This is the way I'm going to do this for the sake of this graph. So I would say exclude. I don't want to see any row that the description that the SKU is null. So what I'm happening, I'm excluding the rows that doesn't have any SKUs. Now, as you see, we're just seeing the SKUs, the orders, refunds, and adjustments, and this is all related to Amazon orders. Now, if you want to make it visually like this, it's just some formatting stuff that you can do from style. Choose the graph, go to style. From the top, for the table header, I can tell that I want that in white, right? Table color, I can tell for the header I want it in black. Then usually I love to put this in Times New Roman. And the rest of the graph, you can go over this. It's pretty simple. There is also one that I built here, this one, odd row color. As you see, I put the odd row color on gray to be easier to follow what I'm looking at. Also, if you want to change these names here, you can change it from here, this type coming from here. So you can say type or orders or whatever, or you can say Amazon orders. Okay, so you have it here. And a record type is, what added I here? Number of orders, or any description that you want, you can add there. So here we have our order, refund, and adjustments. As you see, when we create this, let's say we want to look at just December 2020. Apply, and all this information will be affected by your filter of date. And what is the next thing that you want to see? We want to see the sales based on each SKU. It's pretty simple. You can add a chart of pie chart, right? Put it here. For date and time, we want to have this to be affected by date. For dimension, we want to look at just the SKUs to show the SKUs here. And same thing here, we have none here. So we have to apply the same filters. We want to just look at the order, refund, adjustments. Plus, we don't want to look at the ones that have no SKUs. So now we have this chart. The next one is that what metrics you want to look at here. I want to look at the product sales. When I'm talking about product sales, this is the revenue here, right? This is not after deducting FBA fees and stuff like that. This is just your revenue, total revenue. Now here you have percentage based on each SKU. If you want to put a header on the top, like what we have here, the way I did that is by putting by text sales by SKU. Any change that you visually want to make, you can do it from here. Make it center. For the background, as you see, I'll make it bold. For the font color, white, and the background is here black. So this is how you can create this as a header here. Okay, now we have this one. Just to show you one thing here is that, as you see, I cannot select anything here, even here, but there is an option we have to work here and enable it. If you click and in graph, go down, there is an apply filter. Do the same thing here. Go down, apply this filter. Now you will see we can choose anything here and this will be affected. As you see, they are now connected together. I can tap here and see more information about that. So the next one is doing this table for order ID, refunds, adjustments, stuff like that. This is a pivot table as well. I can copy and paste this. And the only reason I'm doing is that I don't want to go ahead and again do this like visual stuff on that. I have this ready, just need to change the data. So what we are looking as a row here to look at is the order ID. And we are looking at the right thing, order, refund, adjustment. As you see, order, refund, adjustment. Okay, our filter is applied because we copied that. So we are seeing some rows with no order ID. Let's go ahead and see why we are seeing that. And it is under adjustment. We can go back to our table. Let's remove all these filters. Select all. Select all. So as I mentioned, that was under adjustment. Let's filter everything with no order ID blank and see what that row is. As you see, these are the reimbursement for damaged warehouse and lost inbound. We are not looking at this. Now you can see how we can fix this one. If we go to this filter that we had for order refund adjustments, we can add something else. We can say all of these ones, also exclude any one that has order ID of null, right? Meaning if you are looking at these rows, just exclude any ones that doesn't have any order. And as you can see, we can exclude these results from there. Save. Pay attention here, that null is gone now because we are not looking at the ones that doesn't have order ID, and there's no reason to look at them here because they are not order. Okay, cool. We have this one. Let's go back. Right now, since the filter here on this graph was on and we copied that, this is on as well here by default as well. If I choose this SKU, I can see all the orders related to this SKU in my table. If there is any refund, I can see order anything that I can see as well. So if I go to SKU 1, there's adjustment. There should be adjustment here. And as you see, I can see all the adjustments. Let's continue with our next table now. This is the table that shows SKUs plus the sales, selling fees, and FBA fees. It's a pivot table. What I would do is, since this is a pivot table with the change of terms of font and stuff like that, I'm gonna copy this and paste it. We'll make it the same dimension as what I have there. Let's remove all the data we have here. Okay, I remove this, and also I want to remove my filters to apply it again. What we are looking at here is just SKUs. So for the row, we need SKUs. We have all the SKUs. We are seeing null, and the reason is that first we have to apply the filter. We just want the order refund filters. Plus, as we discussed, no SKU. We have to apply that filter as well. Next step is column dimension. We don't have any column dimension. We want to add metrics for them. So this column dimension should be empty. For the metrics, what you want to see here is first the product sales. What is the product sales for this SKU? Now we have the product sales. The next one is the percentage of selling fees compared to product sales. This is a metric that we have to define. So you can create a field. We don't have that in our report. You can create a field. Let's call this selling fee percentage. What is selling fee percentage? It is sum of our selling fees. As you type, you can see the field related to what you're typing. So sum of selling fees divided by sum of product sales. Pretty simple, right? You are dividing your selling fees, you're summing out your selling fees, dividing by your product sales. The only thing I would change here, I would say this is a percentage. Apply, and there you go, you have it. This is just negative, and the reason is that the selling fees are being deducted for you, right? In the report it is negative. If you want to change this the way I have done, you can add ABS. It gives you the absolute number, the positive value of the number that you have. So as you see, this is gone and now it is positive. The next one is we have to create another field called FBA fees percentage. Same as the other one, sum of, we are looking at FBA fees divided by sum of product sales. This number would be negative like the other one, so if you want to make it positive, you can tell ABS of the whole result and change it to percentage. Now you have your percentage. Now if I want to make this similar to what I have here with these bars, we have to make this a pivot table, change it to a pivot table with bars. That's so weird. It says you cannot have more than three pivot tables per page. So how I created this one before? Well, actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'll remove this. Let's see if it works. Now change this pivot table to bars. We don't need this type, so we remove that. Good. We have this pivot table. I also want to see the number here. What you can do here, you can go to style. There is one check here, show number, tap there, and you see the show number for all of them. So percentage as well. For each metric, you can add the number there. Now I want to go ahead and create this one. Let's see if it works. Yes, seems like it is good. We wanted to see the order ID here. Is SKUs, order ID. The Amazon orders column is Amazon orders. That's true. And our order, refund, and no SKU. So we have this back. That's so weird. I don't know why it didn't change before, but now we have the same results as what we had there. Okay, cool. It's time for our next chart now, which is this one showing all the information about order adjustment refund. This is, as you can see here, it's a table. Let's go ahead, make a table. Add a chart, table here, right from here. I will expand all the way. What data source we are looking is order. Date time should be as our date range dimension. The dimension that we are looking here is our type. So choose type. Let me expand this. As you see, we are seeing all information, but I just want to see the information regarding our order, refund, and adjustment. Tap there. Now you have just order, refund, and adjustment. We can go ahead and add metrics here. Okay, we are good to go now. Perfect. If you have all the information here, you can remove whatever you don't need. Let's take a look at the data. I'm gonna say here I have got an adjustment for this order. Let's tap, see what's happening. When you tap on that order, you will see, seems like there was one order with 2 units. You have the product sales and everything regarded the, you have the orders and everything regarded the order, how much you received, and how much Amazon charge you back for the refund, right? Plus the adjustment that Amazon made and adjustment that Amazon paid you back. Seems like something happened for this product and it was damaged by Amazon or customers, so they paid us back. And just keep in mind, there are so many cases that products being damaged by warehouse, by customer, by shipping process, and Amazon is not paying you. In the future videos, we are gonna talk about how you can find those options, because we have to bring another report, add that report to this dashboard. Then we will have a clear idea of, okay, these are the ones that Amazon should pay us back. Has Amazon paid yet or not? I noticed something the other day when I was working on this report, is that let's imagine the situation that customer orders a product and then refunds the product because they didn't receive the product. Somewhere along the shipping, something happened and the customer didn't receive the product. So Amazon should be blamed for this problem, not seller. Customer refunds the product, and what is happening when we're getting an order? Amazon is charging us FBA fees, handling and packing fees, plus the selling fees. As you can see from the refund, when customer is asking for refund, Amazon doesn't give you back the FBA fees, but returns you the selling fees. Here's the funny part. Amazon has something called refund administration fee, meaning any refund being done, you will get charged for an amount because Amazon handled that refund fee. And this also happens for the cases that you are not responsible, seller is not responsible, Amazon is responsible because the product was missed or didn't get delivered. As you see here, even when they are refund you back the selling fee, it is less than what they charge you. And where this goes, this is that refund administration fee. This was so interesting for me, that why we should be charged for something that it's not our fault and it's Amazon's fault. There are so many stuff like this happening, but this video is not about that. So let's go ahead and continue with our dashboard. See what we have next in the graph. We have this table of getting the orders by city. It is a table. We can add a table here. So let's go ahead, add a table. What we want to see here, first of all, I hate these numbers. I will remove that numbers there from their row numbers, remove this. Okay, go to the data. What we are seeing here, we want to see the city, order city, and the number of units. You can change this to quantity. This is the number of units. The only thing is that I just want to see the orders. I don't want to see the refunds. I don't want to see the adjustments. So we have to go ahead and just create a filter for orders. You create a filter. Let's call this Amazon orders. We want in the type to choose anything which is equal to order. Okay. Whenever you forget what is happening, you can go back to your original data. Let's choose from here. Let's choose just the orders. And if you look at the marketplace, you can see this is included the non-Amazon orders as well. If you don't want to look at non-Amazon orders, this is pretty simple. What you can do is that just copy this here, amazon.ca. And what is this headline? Marketplace. You can say here for this filter, we call this Amazon orders, right? So we have to look at anything that the type is order and the marketplace is equals to this one. Now we are filtering with the two columns and you are just seeing Amazon orders. You can do vice versa and just look at your non-Amazon orders. There are so many ways you can look at these reports and get graphs, tables of whatever you want. Here we are just scratching the surface to see what you are able of doing and how to do it. So right now you just have your Amazon orders and based on city. Now let's look at this interesting part that you put this graph here of map. That map is GeoMap here, GeoChart. Let's add them somewhere here. Okay, what's our data source? Our orders. Data range is data time. You have to choose that. The dimension that we are looking. So now it is asking us what you are looking at. Do you want to look at the city or do you want to look at region or stuff like that? Let's go back. The reason I'm not seeing this region is this. If I go back to my data source, to orders, the state, as you see here, I didn't defined the state. So I can go ahead and say this is a region. After choosing this, now you can see that field is here. So I'm looking at my state. What is your metric that you're going to look at? I want to look at, for example, the unit numbers from each state. It is showing US, but all of my orders are in Canada. That's why you are not seeing here anything. So zone area should be Canada. Now you have this beautiful chart. If you wanna affect all the filters on this, be able to tap and filter with this, you can apply this filter. So now if you go on each of these regions, states, you can see exact number of orders. Let's say you want to tap here, you can see all of your orders from this region, from this province. Okay, isn't this cool? And also there is one problem here that I noticed, because here as an example for Ontario it shows me 3 orders, but there is no way I had 3 orders from Ontario. I noticed the problem is this. If I go to my state, let's see what I have for Ontario. Here's the problem. See, some of them are Ontario, some of them are ON, the code. But unfortunately, Google Data Studio cannot figure out this. Unfortunately, I didn't find any workaround, so you have to probably change this column or add a new column to your data and make sure everything is Ontario, right? When you change this, I can actually do that right now. Let's look at the data. Right now it is 3-3, okay? I'm gonna make sure I have all just the Ontario on. Now I can easily copy everything to Ontario. And what I would do is that I will paste this information to the other column. I will copy and paste it here. Now everything's Ontario. Let's see if this fixed the problem. If I refresh here, so we have 3 orders from Ontario. Let's refresh. And there you go. Now the number is correct. I have the first problem with this province as well. So just keep in mind, there is this issue. You can go ahead and fix that like that. We're good with this graph. Let's go to the next one. It is Amazon payment. We can again add a line here just to define, because this is different information. Keep in mind, guys, this information, you can create different pages for these since the information is different. The only reason I'm doing is that it's just for the sake of this video. And from this report that you see, you can get so much information. I'm just giving you some information, just showing you how you can work with that. Otherwise, there are so many ways you can work with this report. What we're seeing here is that what is Amazon payment? You just need a chart. We go ahead and add a bar chart here. Let's expand this. Okay, we have to go back to our chart. What we are looking at is that to see this transfer payment, where is that report? Where we can get this data? When we filter our type by transfer, we can find all this payment, right? So we have to, first of all, before starting doing anything, we have to create a filter, add a filter, and I'll call this Amazon payments. As we saw, it is under the type, everything that equals to, actually, what was that? That equals to transfer, okay? Anything that equals to transfer, we have it there. And second is that where is the amount? We are looking at this total, the column total. So in the graph, we need to look at the metric that we are looking. It's not quantity, it is the total that we are looking at. So right now it's showing you just one column and it is one bar and it is total. We want to look at this based on the dates. It is so easy. Change the dimension to date, because the dimension that we want to look at the data is the date. So now you have this column. You just need to do some changes to make this, since they are minus, right? Amazon showing that as a negative number. You need to reverse the y-axis. So as you see, the y-axis is reversed. Another problem is that seems like it is sorted by number, not by dates. You can go to data and tell you don't want to sort by total. You want to sort by the date. Now there's another issue. See, this is how it works. You have to keep figuring out, okay, what's wrong, and change it. Now you want to change the y-axis vice versa. They are just easy changes, right? We can say let's reverse x axis. There you go. Now you have everything in order. I want to see what was my payment for, what Amazon paid me on just December. Let's go to December. You have all this information here. You can see all the orders, refunds, number of orders based on province, city, and this is the payment from Amazon. 16,000 on December 26 and 10,000 on December 12. Our last graph is advertising chart. If you want to do that, it's simple. I create a copy. Same thing, right? It's a logic. You have to go back and forth, and actually that is how you get familiar with the numbers and reports to see what is happening. We are going to look at the Amazon advertising. Where is the Amazon advertising? It is here under service fee. So the only thing that we need to create is remove this filter. You have to create a new filter, and all the filters that you're creating will show up here. You can choose it. We can name it advertising fee. Anything that includes the type of equals to service fee. Cool. What we are looking at is that we are looking at the dimension of date, because we want to see based on the dates. What metric we are looking at is total, because all the numbers are in total, and we are sorting by the date. If you want to change the color of this bar, pretty easy. You can go here, change this color to what color you want. Also, in terms of changing this name, here how you can change it. You can tap here. What was that? It was Amazon payment. Now you have Amazon payment there, but this total is advertising fees. Like the other one, if you want, you can put a header as we did here for this one, and I explained how you can do it. As you can see, there are so much information you can get from this report. I didn't cover everything. For the future, my plan is to work on this adjustment report as well, because there are few other reports, and if you download them, you combine them with what we have from this order, you can figure out where Amazon is supposed to pay you back for something that was damaged in warehouse, in shipping, or for any reason that they haven't paid yet. So you can figure out and like claim your money back. But in general, keep in mind, when you're doing this, you need to create this dashboard once, and after that it is just a matter of uploading the report where it is supposed to sit, and Google Data Studio by default automatically will get all the data. It's not like you have to do this again. No, it is once. One more point is that, which I'm still working on, is that if you are able to connect this to API, that is the best scenario case. Then you don't need any other software. You create your own dashboard. It's connected to API and constantly updating the data without you going manually reporting and downloading the reports. I'm working on that, and as soon as I'm done, I will come up, I will explain you what to do or what is the easiest way. So stay tuned. And please subscribe to channel if you like to see more of this information and more of this content. And don't forget to click on the ring button to get notified for my next video. Thank you so much for staying and watching this video till the end. Please let me know in the comments if you have any questions or any subjects that you want me to cover in the future videos. Please comment below and hopefully I can work on them. Thank you so much. Have a good one.